the first thing we're going to talk about is the sum of the interior angles, which you already covered in that little assignment from last night. So in order to find the sum of the interior angles, you subtract 2 from the number of sides, and then you multiply by 180 degrees. So example 1 is just going to be a very simple question, one of the most basics. Find the sum of the interior angles in a 15-gon. So a 15-gon has how many sides? 15. So we're just going to plug it into the formula, n minus 2 times 180. So we're going to do 15 minus 2, and then we're going to multiply that one by 180. So we remember that this 15 minus 2 gives us the number of triangles, and then you take the number of triangles and multiply it by 180. And in this case, we get 2,340 degrees. So all the angles of a 15-gon will add up to that. Everybody okay with that? Okay, so example 2, it'll on the same basis as example 1. It says find the sum of the interior angles of the polygon shown. Well, the only thing we need to figure out is how many sides does that polygon have. Okay, so let's count them up. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now that we know it has 9 sides, we can go ahead and still plug it into this formula. So then we'll have 9 minus 2 times 180. And so 9 minus 2 is 7, and 7 times 180, 1,260 degrees. So that means all of these angles inside here will add up to 1,260. So that's another way they can ask this question. All right, question or example 3. It says 5 angles of a hexagon measure 119 degrees, 129 degrees, 104 degrees, 139 degrees, and 95 degrees. What is the measure of the 6th angle? So first of all, how many sides does a hexagon have? 6. So you know if it has 6 sides, it has to have 6 angles. They only gave you 5 angles, and they want to know what's the 6th one. So what we can do is figure out, well, what do all the angles in a hexagon have to add up to be, and then subtract the ones we have off and figure out what the last one is. Okay? So the first thing we need to figure out, what is the sum of the interior angles of a hexagon. So we know a hexagon has 6 sides, so we're going to do 6 minus 2 times 180 degrees. And then so 6 minus 2 is 4, and then 4 times 180 is 720 degrees. So what that really means is all the angles of this hexagon have to add up to 720. We know 5 of them, and they want us to find the 6th one. So I know that 119 plus 129 plus 104 plus 139 plus 95 plus whatever that other one is, because I don't know what that is equal to 720 degrees. And now I'm just going to figure out what that is. So if I add up all the angles that I have that I were given, those add up to 586. So we get 586 plus x equals 720. And now we just solve for x. And so we know that one is 134 degrees. So that 6th angle is 134 degrees. Question so far? No? Alright, let's look at example 4. So, example 4 says a convex polygon has vertices A, B, C, D, E, and F. What is the sum of the interior angles of this polygon? Well, in order for us to figure out the sum of the interior, we need to know how many sides it has. So sides is equal to the number of angles, which is also equal to the number of vertices. So how many vertices were in this problem? 6. So that means that's how many sides this polygon has. So then we can go through and figure out what the some of the interior angles are. So then we'll do 6 minus 2 times 180. Multiply that, and it's 720 degrees. And we knew this because this was a 6-sided figure, because it has 6 vertices. Okay, so kind of like examples 1 and 2, you're doing the same thing. It's just another way to present how to figure out how many sides there are. All right, example 5 is very similar to question 3. We just got to figure out what the interior has to add up to be, so we can now figure out what that x is equal to. So first of all, how many sides does this shape have? 5. So we have a pentagon. So let's figure out what the sum of this shape would be. So we get 5 minus 2 times 180. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 times 180 is 540 degrees. So now they've given us 4 out of the 5 angles. We have a 95 degree, 102 degree, 90 degree, and 100 and looks like 33 degrees. And then we have our x. So we know we have to add up all of these. They have to add up to 540. So we can do x plus 133 plus 90 plus 102 plus 95, and they have to add up to 540. So now let's figure out what that should be. Everybody, calculators, figure it out. So we go through and solve this, and now we know that x is 120 degrees. And one of the last type of problems we can use with this is to figure out the number of sides a polygon has by the sum of the interior. So this one says the sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 1,620 degrees. How many sides does the polygon have? Well, we know from up here, a formula is the sum of the interior is equal to the number of sides minus 2 times 180. So now we can just plug in the formula whatever we have. So we have the formula, the sum is equal to the number of sides minus 2 times 180. Usually we're given the number of sides and we look for the sum, but now we have the sum and we're going to find the number of sides. So we're just going to go ahead and plug that in. So we have 1620 is equal to n minus 2 times 180. Now, how are we going to solve this? It's just an equation to solve. How are we going to do it? Yes?
We're going to add divide 180.
We're going to first, we're going to divide both sides by 180. So we get 9 is equal to n minus 2. Now what?
Add.
And then add 2 to both sides. So we know this polygon has 11 sides.
Wait, I need something.
Yes.
About your.
So here we know that the sum of the exterior angles is always 360. So people make this question a lot harder, and they do a whole lot of work, and they don't really have to. If the question looks like example 1, and it says, what is the sum of the exterior angles of a heptagon, what are you going to say? 360. That requires no work. And there are going to be a couple of you who, at the end of today, when we do a graded assignment, And it's going to ask about the exterior angles of some polygon, and you're going to do a whole lot of work. And all you really have to tell me is that it's 360. Okay? Don't be that person. Example 2. Does everybody see that these are exterior angles of the figure? And so now we're trying to find x. No matter what the shape is, we know that the exterior angles have to add up to 360. So we're going to add up all 5 of these and set them equal to 360. So we get 7x plus 4 plus 5x plus 4 plus 4x plus 9 plus 4x plus 1 plus 9x minus 6. I'm running out of space, but equals 360. And now this is just a combine alike terms and see where you go. So you combine all the x terms, you end up with 29x. And then you add up all the constants and you end up with 12. And that equals 360. And now you just solve for x. So we're going to subtract 12 from both sides. 29x equals 348. And then divide both sides by 29. And you get x is equal to 12. And so those are the type of questions we're going to see when I ask for the sum of the exterior angles. Okay? Well, good. And then the last one that we're going to cover today is how to find one exterior angle and not just the sum of them all. So, and if it's of a regular polygon. And so just to make sure you know, a regular polygon has all sides are congruent and all angles are congruent. So if you want to jot that down, that a regular polygon, all sides are congruent and all angles are congruent. And when I say all angles, that's all interior angles are congruent, all the exterior angles are congruent as well. So in order to figure out one exterior angle, we're going to do 360 divided by the number of sides they have or the number of angles that they have. Okay? So for example 1, what is the measure of each exterior angle of a regular hexagon? Well, how many sides are in a hexagon? 6. So now we're going to do 360 divided by 6. And what do you get? 60. So that means each exterior angle is 60 degrees. And then number 2, you want to find the measure of an exterior angle of the polygon pictured. So first of all, you need to figure out how many sides are in this polygon. So how many sides are in this polygon? 9 sides. We got 9 sides. So if we want to figure out what one of the exterior angles is, we're going to do 360 divided by 9. And that's 40 degrees. So if I was kind of draw to make sure you can see my exterior angles. I kind of just keep extending the sides. And that means each one of these angles is 40 degrees. Okay. And then the question that they like to show plenty of times is when you actually have two figures stacked on top of each other and they want to know the sum of the joined exterior angle. Okay? So here they have two adjacent figures are a regular pentagon and a regular hexagon. Find the measure of angle ABC. So ABC as you can see, is this exterior angle for both shapes. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the exterior angle for each one of them and then add them together. So first of all, now let's find the exterior angle of the pentagon. So you're going to do 360 divided by 5. And you get that as 72 degrees. So that means this piece right here is 72 degrees. And then we're going to find the exterior angle of the hexagon, which is 6 sides. So we're going to do 360 divided by 6, which is 60 degrees. So that's this exterior part is 60 degrees. So now how are we going to get the whole angle ABC? Add them together. So angle ABC is equal to the 72 plus 60, which is what? It's 132 degrees. Okay? And that's it for today.